Welcome to the R&B Only show. Please note that the opinions expressed here belong solely to the hosts and guests, not to Colors Worldwide Inc., our affiliates, or sponsors. The content is provided as is for entertainment and information purposes only, without any guarantees of accuracy or completeness. Colors Worldwide Inc. is not liable for any errors or omissions, nor does mentioning products or services imply endorsement. This disclaimer is subject to change, and we encourage our audience to stay updated.
This week, I am joined by Grammy-nominated Teedra Moses.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey. How did you get into music to begin with?
I walked into my house one day and my children's father was with someone else in my bed. I'm at an age where the men my age want to date young women, and the young men want to date women my age. I'm not a sugar mama. I like sugar too. You know what I'm saying? So R&B only.
Welcome back to the R&B Only show. It's your girl Jovy E, and this week, we're in for a treat. This week, I am joined by Grammy-nominated Linus, NOLA's very own Teedra Moses.
How are you? Hey.
Hey, girl, hey. I feel like at this point, we've sat down and chit-chatted maybe 2 or 3 times at this point. I feel like
we family. We
locked in at this point. We locked in at this point. But I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you.
You are hitting the road soon to celebrate the 20th anniversary of your debut album.
Yes.
How does that feel?
I feel really, really good. I feel very blessed and I feel very grateful. The excitement that people have for it is really, making me feel good about it. I'm excited to go out and just present the songs in a different way than I presented them before. And I'm just really excited and grateful. I think that's the main thing, because I have to go through the show and I have to put it together and I have to listen to the songs. And I'm not thinking about my entire body of work, just this body of work. And I have had nostalgia, and it's just been pretty good. It's been good for me professionally and personally to do this.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. You're hitting quite a few cities. You've got, you've got New Orleans, of course. You've got St. Louis, Chicago, Philly, Nashville, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Boston, and New York.
Yeah.
Make sure you catch our girl.
Yes, please.
Get those tickets.
We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time. And there's more to be added as well.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Love that. What is your favorite part about being on tour and performing live?
Connecting with people, because from the beginning, that was a thing that was just really cool for me. I guess I've become a people person, but I was never really, I'm from New Orleans, we kind of stick to ourselves, you know what I mean? And when I got out on the road just early on, I realized they understand me. I don't know how, but they get me. And so I can get on stage and be myself and say whatever, the wildest things I say on stage. And they just ride with it, and it's like, I feel like I'm meeting my tribe every time I go out there. I'm connected with my tribe. And after 20 years, the same people coming, that's family at this point. So I'm really just going to see my family. That's all.
Love that. I love that. And you put on a show, baby. You put on a show for sure. Like you said, you have a really devout following that allows you to stay on tour whenever you so please. And that's really, really cool. And, we follow you on the gram. You really are of the people. I feel like you can do things. I feel like it's interesting for me when I'm at festivals and I see certain artists who can't just sit and be backstage without people swarming. You have a really nice balance where you can be on these really big stages, but also
go in the crowd
and just vibe. How do you maintain that balance?
I would never want to have anything that comes with me not being able to be myself. And I don't know how I maintain it. I think partly it's because I am not the biggest artist in the world, and people are every day learning of my music like it's new, you know what I mean? And learning of me like I just started. And so that's cool. So I'd rather just slowly everybody come to know me. And when you come to the party, you at my house now. So you got to act accordingly, because if you get wild with me, I'm going to get wild back. You know what I'm saying? And if you say something crazy to me, I'm going to either get away from you or say something crazy back. I am you. I'm not something sitting on a pedestal. I'm not in a glass case. I'm just like you, living my life, trying to have a good time, trying to sing with Lloyd like you.
You can just hit a couple notes. We can. You can just hit a couple notes. We can. Okay.
No, I mean, I think because I treat people like peers rather than people that look up to me, because I don't care for people to look up to me.
That's valid.
Just look across at me and be like, hey, girl, keep doing your thing. That's cool. That's cool with me.
That's valid. That's super duper valid. How did you even start this journey? How did you get into music to begin with?
Wow, you're going to make me think about it. I started a long time ago, of course, 20 years ago, before 20 years ago, because the album came out about a year or two maybe after I finished it. I I walked into my house one day and my children's father was with someone else in my bed, and we broke up. And the one thing I asked him for was, can you introduce me to some producers so I could start making music? And I hate to bring this up because it's so old and I don't want to make him seem like I'm bashing him, because I'm not. We friends, we cool. But that's what happened. And he introduced me to Paul Pauly, was one of the producers he introduced me to. And I went to the studio, and Paul Pauly and I wrote a song called Caught Up. Well, he had the music already. I wrote the song Caught Up. We recorded it. And he was like, I'm going to let a couple of people listen to it and we'll see what happens. And he came back, and I think they must have liked it because he was like, let's do some more. And we made an album. And that's pretty much how it started. Before that, I was a wardrobe stylist, so I had been around it. But Paul Pauly and I lived in Pasadena. He lived in Glendale. I drove over there every day and we made music. Neo was in there as well. He would help me with the vocal arrangement and everything. And we just made music. And then we took it to TVT. We took it to a lot of different places. TVT Records was an independent label that was, at that time, 20 years ago. Now everybody gets to write their own music, choose their songs. No, it was a lot of hands-on back then. And they didn't know me from Adam. And I was saying I want to executive produce my album and I want to write my entire album lyrically, and people weren't trying to see that. And I think they had a lot of women out at the time. So a lot of people passed, but they would want to take songs, and that's how I became a songwriter, from people wanting to take songs. And then TVT said, let's go, we'll take you as you are. And, I like that. That's speaking my language. Let me do what I want, Shout out to Brian Leach and TVT Records. So, yeah, that's how it all started.
That is kind of a crazy inception story, but I'm glad that it brought you here. And I'm hearing that I knew that you were a songwriter, but it sounds like you have, like, having a lot of hands in the process of making music and making your music specifically. What would you say is your favorite part about maybe not one individual song, but making a body of work? What's your favorite part?
It takes me a long time because of this, because I like it to be diverse. I like to write honest. I don't conjure it up. If it's not in me, or if I haven't witnessed it, or I'm not feeling that way, if it's not organic to me, I'm not going to sit there and try to conjure it up. So I might have 7 songs of I can't stand this nigga. You know what I'm saying? I might have 7 songs of that, but that's not an album. So then I have to wait until I start loving him, or I meet somebody new that I'm interested in, or I see somebody that's having this experience, or something happens so amazing in my life that I want to sing about happy stuff. I can't just make it all one way. So it takes me time, but I like that. I like to live and then make music. I don't like to just make music. Oh, here you go, turn it out. I want to live so you can hear me living in my music. You can hear me down. You can hear me up. You can hear me getting ready to go out. You can hear me laying in my bed smoking. I want you to hear my life and my music, not just this one time. I'm not always angry. I'm not always happy. So I love that the most, the process of writing these songs and then picking the ones that fit, because I just make music all the time. And then I decide what I want the album to be and what I wanted to say, and I pick the songs that can tell that story.
That's beautiful. That point about not just making music to make music to turn it out. Do you think, I feel like that's one of the biggest difference between maybe the music that we're experiencing today versus years ago. What would you say are other differences between the music, the R&B specifically music of today versus maybe when you began making music?
I think that I'll talk about what I love that is current and something that was going on then.
Okay.
Like how Alicia Keys would just be with that one guy and make music. That was cool. Paulie and I, we were just together and we made pretty much that album with the exception of 2 songs. Mm-hmm. So then you had a sound. You look at Victoria Monet with D Miles and then Lucky with him, and you're creating these sounds. That is something I love. I love to, before the person starts singing, I know that's your record because I know your sounds, or even if I don't know it's you, I say, oh, this sounds like blah, 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 before you even start singing. Especially once you start singing, I know it's you. Sometimes I be missing today. Sometimes it's a very much so the diversity can get lost, because this is what's hot. So everybody is doing that, and that happened back in my era too. But I was always impressed with people that had a distinctive sound, and I feel like those artists that are current now that I name, when you hear them, you know their music because they have a sound. And that's what I really, really appreciate about back then and now. I tend to not focus on what I don't like because I don't pay attention to it anyway. But I do like that a lot of people, and we're getting more vocalists again. Because, there's a lot of stuff you can put on your voice to make you sound good. But we're getting some vocalists again. There's some people that can sing. But here's the thing about that, baby.
Talk to me.
That ain't got nothing to do with the artist. There's tons of artists out here can sing. There's tons of artists that can play and all these things. It's about what, I guess, whoever these powers are that be want you to see. There's so many times where it's like, oh, she sings too hard, but that means she can actually sing, Oh, they want things cookie cutter one way all the time. Diversity is beautiful. And I think that's another thing. It's starting to happen now. People can look how they want to look. They can be diverse. You don't have to look this certain way. So I'm loving those kind of things because that isn't about the artist. Us that love art, we just want the art. Girl, you come in here with your hair red, green, and gold,
literally
and Jamaican, and I mean, it is what it is.
As long as it sounds good and it makes me feel
exactly.
something.
And if your voice is unique, one of my favorite voices is Baby Rose because how unique her voice is. And I remember when I was coming out, they probably would have never chose her voice because it was something they probably just couldn't understand.
Yeah.
And she's impeccable.
She's
impeccable, and her songs are impeccable.
She sounds so good. I was just telling you, I went to see Ray Khalil at the Peppermint Club. She has, it's not like Baby Rose, but she has like it's a distinct voice. There's a certain raspiness to it. And like, there were moments during the show where it was like, oh, she's singing and not that it didn't sound good, but it's like you said, a hard voice that like is just coming through. I love that. That's 1000% valid. Let's see. Talked about how we got into making music. What is something that you want? I know that, of course, we're touring with the anniversary of your album, Complex Simplicity. But word on the street is you have another project potentially coming out.
Yes, it's coming. We want to put it out this year, and they were like, we have to celebrate because people were asking us to celebrate. We were like, what are you gonna do?
20 years. That's
I don't think back. I always move forward. So but now that I'm doing it, I'm so happy I'm doing it. But I did pause because we have been putting out songs for like the past couple of years. That's like kind of like chinching at this new project called The Bullshit. And I released a song. I think it was July, With All My Heart, which is one of the records on that project. The project is, I've been making it for so long that I had to break it down into EPs. So it'll be 3 different EPs that I put out.
She's feeding us.
Well, I got to get rid of these songs so I can start with some new ones. So I got a lot of them.
We're getting fed.
And it's really kind of documenting, well, not even documenting. It's the songs I wrote during this time when I finally decided to go out and start dating. For a long time I didn't date. I was raising my children and making music and getting money, trying to make sure everything is straight. And if it wasn't something that was going to add to that, I didn't like to be disturbed. Or I'm a lover for real, and so I didn't never want to like give too much to this and mess up this. So I kind of stayed focused on what was on my table at the time. Then my sons grew up, they left, and now they're doing music themselves. Shout out to Coast Contra. And I decided to like get a man. You know
Get
what I
back
mean?
outside?
Yeah, I'm outside. Oh, girl, I should have stayed inside with the doors locked.
Nasty out here.
But to be honest, I did it, and I'm glad I did because I learned a lot about myself. I pulled this person into my life, and these are the songs. The Bullshit is the songs that I wrote during that time. And it worked out, though, because at the end, I'm better because of the experience of throwing myself into some bullshit. I'm better. Bullshit can also be fertilizer and make you grow. You know what I mean?
Word.
Yeah. So I'm thankful for it.
Bullshit can also be fertilizer.
Yeah. But too much of it, you're just going to walk around stinking.
Right.
So you just got to get the proper amount to make you grow.
I just saw this tweet that said, it was like something about how like if you stay in your bubble, like you don't know if you've actually grown or not. Like if you're not interacting with somebody who's going to trigger or like push those buttons, you don't know how you're going to react to when that actually happens.
Baby, he pushed every button I had.
Whew, I hate to hear it.
I mean, it's okay.
I hate to hear it because now we got.
I learned the areas where I needed to do better.
Okay.
With myself and for myself.
That's valid.
I was a very confident person, so I thought. I thought that I loved myself, and I do. but I didn't do it properly. You can love yourself and not love yourself properly. You can love others and not love them properly. And I learned to love myself properly. And by learning to love myself properly, I feel like I'm much better at loving everybody else around me. And he forced me to do that because I was shooketh when I got in that situation. Like, girl, you, him, huh? How? You know what I mean? But we figured it out. And I'm better for it. Thank you.
So are we
Appreciate
back outside now, or are we?
I'm outside. I'm a grown woman. Grown. Capital G, capital R. Listen, all capitals, all caps. Exclamation points, boom, boom, boom. You see what I'm saying? So if
Talk your shit.
no, I'm just saying for real. I'm a grown woman. I was having this conversation. I'm at an age where the men my age want to date young women, and the young men want to date women my age. I'm not a sugar mama. I like sugar too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not that. But at the same time, I'm open to like 10 years down, 10 years up, 10 years down. I can't be your mother. He can't be my father. You know, it's like that. So I'm out here and I'm open and I want to have a good time. My life is super good. It's so fun. Like, I'm at the best place I've ever been in my life. So long as there is nothing coming over here that's meant to disturb,
right?
Which I almost feel like that's not even going to happen.
You got good discernment.
Yeah, it's not even going to happen because it's just where I'm at and what I lure. You know, so I'm just waiting to lure someone that want to rock out and have a good time and travel and good sex and make playlists and send to each other and just, you know, have a good time.
Playlist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A good playlist. I love that. You know what? Speaking of a good playlist, this wasn't on my list of questions, but what are 5 R&B albums that you can listen to for the rest of your life?
That's good. I was just listening to Voodoo earlier today from D'Angelo. That's one of my favorite albums ever. And it's crazy because as a person that was around during that time when his first album came out and the second one came out, people weren't taken to it right away, but it has aged amazingly. You know what I mean? Voodoo is one that's really amazing. I'm going to go all the way back because I'm from New Orleans and we've been listening to this album forever, but I can't think of the name of it. But there's a Maze album where it's the hand and it's just the maze. You know, I'm good for this. I don't ever know what I'm talking about. It's the maze hand. It's a maze and it's the hand. Do you know what that one is called?
Yes, I'm finding it. Is it? I think it's called
one with
Maze.
Happy Feelings and all that. Is it called Maze?
It's called Maze.
That album I listened. If I had to be on an island, that would be one. The not Purple Rain, the Under the Cherry Moon album. What was that album called? From Prince? The Under the Cherry Moon album is one. Aaliyah's album that had Rock the Boat on it.
Okay.
That one. And
we're at 4. We got one more. 4?
Complex Simplicity, baby. Why not listen to myself?
Hard stop. That's a good.
I'm serious.
Good collection.
I've been listening to it lately, and it's actually pretty good. Better than I thought it was.
Yeah, I was listening to it earlier today, and then Backstroke comes on, and I gotta listen to it at least 3 times.
There you go.
Until I go to the next one. Yes, guilty as charged.
There you go.
Speaking of Complex Simplicity, we got to talk Be Your Girl. I know that the last time we spoke, you told me how that song came about and how it wasn't Nas. It was based on you having a crush on Nas's character on Belly. Mm-hmm. But how did the KAYTRANADA remix in 2018 come about?
He liked the vocals and, you know, he liked the song and he wanted to mess with it. And I did that with him. Yeah. I allowed him to do so. Yeah.
Was it like y'all came together in the same room at all? Or was this just like...
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was that with?
It was cool. I love KAYTRANADA. He's so awesome.
We love KAYTRANADA.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorites.
Do you think we would get more KAYTRANADA?
You know, we did
Moses
Culture
mixes?
on his Bubba album, which I love. I have one called Fighting Farewell on the new project coming. It's different though than what you're used to hearing us do. It's more like slower and jazzy.
Okay.
Yeah, I love KAYTRANADA to death. I can sing pretty much over anything he ever sings. So
love that.
Hopefully one day, you know, we'll get a whole little EP. That's my new thing after I get out these 3 EPs that are coming is to like just, because I put so much, I'm particular. I won't let you hear it until I like it, and that might take 7 years. Because I'm particular. So what I want to do is start working with other producers and artists that it takes some of the weight off of me.
Okay.
If you take this part and I take this part, you know, and we can just mesh it together. And it just makes it easier when you collaborate like that.
That makes sense.
So, yeah, I hope we get to do one.
I hope so, too.
Yeah.
I hope so, too. If you had to choose 3 songs that you feel like would be the perfect intro to you, Teedra Moses, three of your own songs that would be the perfect intro to you as an artist.
I'll start with culture. This is not a vibe, it's a culture, nigga. That's basically what it is. It's not a vibe, it's a culture. This is a way of being. And either you will respect this culture over here or you're not invited. Yeah. Secondly, the song I wrote for my mother on my first album, it's called we call it Shirley's Song, but it just is the broadest form of me. I was very, very hurt. My mother had died when I wrote that song. And that shows just this softer, thank you. That just shows like the softer side of me that I always do the tough thing. Because that's natural to me. You know, as a woman that's out here in the world, you got to like, you know,
especially as a fire sign. Hello.
As a fire
Hello. A Sag queen over here. Yeah.
Exactly. So you have this protection of yourself. That song to me, if you really want to know me, you know who I love, because I'm talking about my mom who had just passed, my sisters and brothers who I love with all my heart, and my sons who not only do I love, but they've taught me how to love even better. I think my third song, let's see. As a person that don't listen to my own music, it's very hard to think. A third song would be probably, I'll go to Get It Right, because it's probably one of my favorite ones to perform. That's a good introduction to me.
I like that.
I think people like to hear Be Your Girl, but they think I'm sweeter than I am when they hear Be Your Girl. Like, that's just one side of me, baby. There's a whole lot of other things.
You caught me on a good day.
You caught me on, and I'm very sweet. I am. I'm
are.
very, very sweet. I'm a super sweet person, but you have to get to that. You don't get to that.
You don't get
first.
that, yeah.
No.
You don't get that off rip. I can relate to that. You gotta peel. It's an onion, baby.
Yeah,
you gotta peel some layers back. You gotta peel some layers back. With 20 plus years in the game, how do you continue to stay motivated to pursue this and everything that you do?
That's a really good question.
Thank you.
That's a very good question, because 20 years is a very long time, and I don't notice it because before the pandemic, we just running. We just doing it. We just keep going because this is what we do. This is what we do. But when I sat down, it took a lot. Now that I've got my money situation and everything is coming in, I don't have to hit the road to just get money. You know, maybe I was doing it because I needed money. That's why I was just constantly going. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I didn't have passion anymore. You know, maybe after you go through lawsuits and lose all kind of money, stuff like that, you don't have passion anymore, but you're doing it for the money. So in 2020, I sat down and I didn't really need it for the money, and I missed it. And I realized this is just as much as who I am, as I'm a human being, as I am a woman, as I'm a Black woman. You know, being an artist is just as much of that, and it feels really, really good to me to do this. You know, you think about it, let's say I just had $300 million. Would I still do this? Yes, because it feels good, and it affects people, and them being affected affects me. And when I chilled out for a second and didn't do it, it didn't feel good. So the motivation is that the shit feels good, and if it feels good to you, let it ride.
That's honest. Yeah. The pandemic, I think, really had to shake some people up.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it woke you back up to this being your passion, because we love you out here, girl.
And I love y'all.
Out here, girl. So on top of your own music that you do all the things for, you've also written for some absolute legends. What was that experience like? Or what would you say has been like your favorite session in that regard?
A lot of my writing back then, because I don't do it as much anymore, a lot of my writing was, here's a track, teacher, can you write this? And then I just wrote a song, and then someone took it and they sang it. You know what I mean? I didn't really go into studios because, to be honest with you, I'm kind of shy. I don't seem like I am. But when it comes to my art, especially then, because I was very new to it, when it comes to my art, it was just like I didn't want people standing over me watching me do this, because I want to give it to you when I know it's done. And a lot of my sessions were that. But when I was working with Raphael Sadiq, he was one of the ones that made me feel, and I said this earlier, he was one of the ones that made me feel comfortable in my artistry, to where I didn't have to be so shy about it. Like, it was like, okay, what you're doing is dope. And he was like, oh, that's dope. You know, so when you hear that from somebody you think is really, really dope, it gives you confidence. And I think maybe my sessions with him, if not my favorites, more so the most influential, because it made me feel courageous.
And so when you are penning something for someone else, are you still putting, I would imagine you're still putting you and your experiences in them. Did you feel like at any point like, ooh, I like this one a little bit too much? I don't really, no, you're just.
No, the only one that someone wanted to take was Be a Girl. And I said no. And I never said no about a record. So I can make more, you know, cocky or whatever, you know, but I didn't let that one go because I really did like it a lot. I think more than anything, I wrote songs for myself. And it's like, say if I put on an outfit and you say, oh, I like that, I will wear it the exact same way. That's kind of what was happening. I never in my life wrote a song for someone else. I really literally am one of those artists that pour out what is inside of me. I can't conjure it up. I don't know how to be fake. I don't know how to pretend. So if it's either there or it's not. So when it comes out of me, it's me. So I'm just giving you this thing that you can relate to too. I love your outfit. I could wear that. I could wear that exact same outfit. That's just how we relate. And I think that's what happened with my songs.
And I'm sure that's why your fans resonate with you so much, because it's you that they're listening to and connecting with. So when they come and see you live, it's like, and you're performing it the way that you do, like, girl, we locked in forever. We not going nowhere.
That's my people. They let me be me, and I'm always grateful for anybody that allows me to. I mean, I'm going to be that anyway, but they don't question it or try to change it.
Do you have a name for your core?
That's my lovers. We're lovers. No matter how tough we are, the people that can relate to my music, the core of who they are inside is just lovers. No matter what has happened to them that might have made them a lot of other things, the root of the people that can relate to my music is love.
Love.
Yeah.
I love that. I can't wait. We got to catch you at one of these cities. And
yeah, we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a real good time.
Any surprises?
I don't know. Maybe I'll find some since you told me. Since you asked for it. Yeah, we'll do that. I'm going to do that. Yeah, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
We're going to figure it out. I got you.
Last question, I guess. Do you have any advice for up and coming R&B artists trying to navigate the space and the landscape?
Yeah. I think anybody doing anything outside of just even artists, be good at what you do. You know, you want to know how you're good at it? People tell you. You know what I'm saying? People tell you. If no one is like rocking with you, but people that are around you that just don't want to hurt your feelings, you're not good at it. Secondly, not just be good at it, be distinctive. Because you can be good at emulating someone else. And maybe you'll get on and surpass them, but you'll always be the person that sound like that person. Be distinctive in what you do. Thirdly, find a family, a artist family, career family. Like, so there's for me, it's always been musical people around me that were like my circle. Then there's people that are like professional people that are my circle, and you need those people. Nobody can do this on an island. You need protection to be an artist. So you have to have the musical people that you can run to, and I just need to pour this song out of myself, you know. Then you have the people that say, well, I want to take this song and give it to the world. Then you have the people that can help you do that. But at no point should you just try to be all things.
A one-man band, yeah.
Yeah, and I see them doing that to these people today. Like, oh, you know, they did this and that, and they managed themselves. But baby, well, how you going to be good at one thing if you don't focus on that one thing? And you're here to make music, and you shouldn't have to be bombarded with the business that makes you want to quit sometimes. It'll come to you, but there should be some protection for you to just be a great artist. Because I truly believe if you're a great artist, it doesn't matter when. People going to catch on and it's going to go. You know what I mean? You just need some protection.
I love that. Do that and you're gonna be all right.
You're going to be all right, but be good first. Just be good at it.
And how do you know you're good at it?
Good. People will tell you.
Not your mama.
Not your mama.
Okay.
Or your baby mama.
Or your baby daddy. Yeah, depending on the relationship, maybe.
Yeah.
They might be a little honest.
They might be honest, but most of them won't. They won't want to hurt your feelings.
You know what? We love having you here.
Thank you.
We love having you on any of our stages at any time.
And you know, I love y'all and was following y'all for a long time. I love anything R&B because I remember when it started to move back in our direction. I was like, yes. So every platform that gives light to it, we are always very appreciative because they tried to shut us down. But how you going to shut R&B down?
We not
It's the
going
core
nowhere.
of everything.
We not going nowhere.
Yeah.
Who have you been listening to lately?
Who have I been listening to lately? If I tell you who I'm listening to, is nobody that's new. You know what I mean? Like I told you, I listen to that Maze album every day. Well, I am a huge fan of anything D Miles because I just love the production. That's production alone. So I have a playlist of all of his stuff. That's pretty much what I listen to all the time. And then I listen to like world music. I like to listen to things that don't have anything to do with what I do. You know what I mean? Like lots of African music, but not amapiano or the regular, just world music, things that give me inspiration of different sounds and different ways of hearing things, Yeah. Because if you listen to everything that you do, that you can repeat the same thing over and over.
Yeah. And I feel like I know a lot of like people in the music industry that like don't really listen to the things that are similar to theirs because they don't want to pick up anything that like will influence their music and like make it seem like they picked it up from like copy pasted.
Yeah, I have to say one of the projects I do listen to a lot right now is Duran's latest EP. I do listen to that a lot because I know him as a person and I know him as an artist and I just love what he does, and so it's a good. Let me just press play.
Love him down.
Get into it
for sure. He's another person who just like sings the house down.
Sings the house down and actually is a star. Literally. You can be able to sing and you can be able to perform and you can be, but the character of this person is a star. Right.
Literally. Can't like he's on his way to a different stratosphere and I can't wait to see
I've always
that
known
next
that.
level. Yeah. Can't wait to see that next level. We love, like I said, we love having you here.
Thank you.
All the time. That Singing in the Shower episode is coming real soon. Catch Miss Mama's on tour. All the cities and the ones that she's adding. Yes. What else can we add? What else is coming?
Yes, and then we look out next year for the bullshit. And go to TeedraMoses.com. Buy some merch. I have a lifestyle I have to pay for, and I appreciate you. I really appreciate you. I
almost want to be outside too, okay?
Yeah, and if you see me outside, you want to holler, I'm taking them 10 down, 10 up. Get into it.
Get all the way into it. That, you know what? That just about wraps this one up. Of course, thanks again for watching the R&B Only show. Get your tickets to the R&B Only live show at a city near you by going to rnbonly.com. / calendar. One of them slashes. Calendar. I'm Jovy E, and we'll see you next week.
R&B only.